Coja el cielo, coge todo lo que sea, no el cielo.
Of San Agustin, beginning with premature begins with a journey from the saints of San Agustin. Enjoy the vacation.
Depends on you. Yeah. Tell you what, I'll tell you about the jail. Let me put this away. With all that craziness you did last night, I bet you don't know where you're at or what year it is, do you? No. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll get you picked. This here, St. John's County Jail. And we're going to jail.
This cherry.
El Cherry yo open 1889, 1897.
Carefully to your left. Make sure you exit backwards and make sure you hold on to the bars and handles as you exit. This is stop number 21, the Fountain of Youth. Yeah, board on the left side.
Not Spanish, and it is not one. You get to hang on to that 25 points.
And good afternoon, folks. Welcome on board. My name is Zeke. tall and 219 steps to the top. What was once a Franciscan monastery. Ever since the British period, it has continually operated as a military command post. Currently, it is the headquarters for the state of Florida National Guard. And now we're approaching our next stop, the oldest house museum, also known as the Alvarez House. If you want to exit here, please wait till I'm stopped and ring the bell, and then exit carefully to your right. Make sure you exit backwards, and make sure you hold on to the bars and handles. This is stop number 14, the oldest house museum. The actual oldest house is directly to our right. And the oldest house museum is a complex of 4 main buildings that open to a central courtyard. Magnificent representation of Spanish architecture. And the one company during that time, well, the company going all the way back to the church. Cultural center operated by the University of Florida. Now, this is our central plaza, Plaza de la Constitución. That obelisk is the Spanish Constitution monument. There's a monument on the plaza for every conflict that citizens of San Agustin have ever participated in. And you'll also find several colonial era annex throughout the plaza. Up on your left is the civil rights footnote monument. The pavilion right behind it is where the open air market used to be. And as we round the front of the plaza, standing on top of that pedestal to our left is Ponce de Leon, all 4'11" of them. Now the World War I monument is straight ahead of us on the flagpole. That'll be on your right once I start making this left turn. And now we're approaching our next stop, stop number 13, the Cathedral Basilica. If you want to visit the Spanish Military Hospital Museum, you'll exit here at stop 13, cross over the Plaza to Avila Street. And stop 13 is also where you can catch the beach bus at the bottom of every hour. And the beach bus is at the stop right now. Plus, will give you a complimentary ride to Anastasia Island over the bridge behind us. And that's where you'll find the alligator farm, San Agustin's Zoological Park. If you want to exit here at stop 13, please wait till I'm stopped and ring the bell, and then exit carefully to your right. Make sure you exit backwards, and make sure you hold on to the bars and handles as you exit. This is stop number 13. The Cathedral Basilica. Spanish and French. And you'll find some very unique works of art inside the Villa Serrata. If you want to exit here, please wait till I'm stopped and told you it's okay to get off. It's because I do not ring the bell at this stop, because it is a designated quiet area. Exit to your right, exit backwards, and hold on to the bars and handles as you exit. This is stop number 9, the Villa Serrata Museum. And ding ding, it's okay to get off if you want to. And no one on, no one off. Let me see if these folks are coming towards the trolley or not. has a magnificent front elevation view of the Ponce de Leon to your left. There are tall towers in the back. They were the water towers that supplied the hotel. And there's a statue of Henry Flagler in front. You can take a tour of Flagler College. That's a tour that's provided by Flagler College students called the Legacy Tour. Coming up on our right, the courtyard is where the Olivet Methodist Church used to be. That covered a piece of property that Henry Flagler wanted for his Alcazar Hotel. And right behind it, the former Alcazar Hotel is currently the Leitner Museum as well as St. Agustin City Hall. The Alcazar Hotel only made it to about the early 1930s, closed as a result of the Depression. And the building was subsequently acquired by Hobbies magazine publisher Otto Leitner. Leitner had his own extensive collections of antiques and antique glass, and he founded the Leitner Museum, turned it over to the city of St. Augustine 2 years later. St. George Street passes right in front of us here, and as I creep through the intersection, you'll see the full length of the pedestrian wall on either side of us. Not that busy yet, but later in the day, it's quite the rest.
Yeah, Colombia.
And now we're moving into what was once the Menorcan
Mira, Spanish restaurant.
Yeah.
Menorca is an island off the coast of Spain. And back in colonial times, Spanish, Italian, and Greek immigrants from Menorca brought to Florida to work on music circles indigo plantation. It was about 60 miles south of here in present-day Venezuela. Well, that plantation turned out to be in horrendous failure. It had miserable working conditions. Many of the workers died of illness and disease. And were pretty sparse with survivors to St. Augustine to seek refuge. The British governor provided them with parcels of land and properties that had been vacated by the Spanish. And had it not been for the Menorcan, St. Augustine could not claim to be the nation which owned the city. And that's because after the American Revolution was over, the British vacated St. Augustine. And the only ones left here were the Menorcans. And now we're going to fast forward to the 1880s. Start to learn about Henry Flagler. Henry Flagler was perhaps the Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos of his time. He was a co-founder of Standard Oil along with John D. Rockefeller. Very wealthy man that fell in love with St. Augustine after his first visit here. And he had a vision of St. Augustine becoming a winter haven for the rich and famous, kind of a southern equivalent of Newport, Rhode Island. He built an amazing hotel, the Ponce de Leon, which we'll see shortly. And then he was intent on building his second hotel, the Alcazar. But he ran into a little land. The land where he wanted to build the Alcazar was occupied by the Olivet United Methodist Church. So he did what any millionaire would do. He went to that church congregation and made him an offer. He said that if they would give him the land to build his hotel, he would build up a nice new church. And that nice new church is coming up on your right. It's called the Grace United Methodist Church. Named from concrete and terracotta. Built in 1886 and 1887. Spanish Renaissance Revival style architecture. It was designed by Través. They also built the New York City Public Library and the Russell Senate House in Washington, D.C. Memorial Presbyterian Church. This church was built in honor and memory of Henry Flagler's daughter, Jenny Louise Lieutenant. She was a young woman who died from complications of childbirth. Neither she nor her husband survived. Henry Flagler commissioned this church to be built in her honor and memory. So its requirement was that it be completed less than 1 year. And until the church was completed with 4 days left to stay. Also the final resting place of Henry Flagler, his first wife, his daughter, and his granddaughter. They're all interred in a mausoleum on the other side of the church. And if you want to exit here, please wait till I'm stopped and ring the bell. And exit carefully to your right. Make sure you exit backwards and make sure you hold on to the bars and handles as you exit. This is stop number 8, the Memorial Presbyterian Church. And the reason that Flagler wanted this church to be completed in under a year was so that he'd be able to honor the 1-year anniversary of his daughter's passing inside the church. Nobody on, nobody off.
The house.
And now we're going to go check out the Ponce de Leon, Henry Flagler's first hotel. We're going to see the Ponce de Leon from a few different perspectives. Our first pass will be behind it. And once we complete our turn, the Ponce de Leon will be up ahead on the right behind that sign that says Flagler College. Ponce de Leon was built in 1886 and 1887. It was also designed by Carrere and Hastings. And it's also Spanish Renaissance Revival style architecture. It was arguably the most magnificent hotel on the planet at the time that it was built. It had 544 rooms, and electricity and running water in every single room. And it had electricity before the White House was built. The building to our immediate right was the power plant for the hotel. It was built by Thomas Edison, and his company Edison Electric. Among the hundreds of artifacts that you find in the Heinrich Museum, include the only known authentic treasure chests known to exist, as well as one of only 3 known original Johnny Robbins flags. Heinrich Treasure Museum also has a fantastic treasure hunt for the kids. You got to locate about a dozen items and then turn in your treasure map for a prize. Also exit at our next stop for the Colonial Experience Tour. It'll give you a taste of what day-to-day life was like back in colonial times. And if you want to exit at stop 5, please wait till I'm stopped and ring the bell. And exit carefully to your right. Make sure you exit backwards. Make sure you hold on to the bars and handles as you exit. This is stop number 5, Colonial Quarter. No more on, no more off. Trolley's in motion. Now we do stop at the port, although we don't get there for about another hour. If you want to get to the port sooner than that, what you need to do is exit at our next stop. And from there, it's a very short walk to the crosswalk that has our next traffic light. Get to the port in about 5 minutes. Coming up on the right, the spectacular spot. Areas it is, because we won't walk ahead of our next stop. exit backwards, and make sure you hold on to the bars and handles as you exit. This is stop 6, the main run. And nobody on this. Nobody off. Trolleys approaching. Find that all of the streets and alleys in the colonial quarter are narrow and crooked. And that was by design. The big reason being that they funnel the breezes coming in off the ocean. Now we're advancing towards the heart of the colonial quarter. Coming up ahead on our left, that yellow building is the Spanish house. It's got an outside entrance that opens into a courtyard, and the entrance into the hall is from the courtyard only. The building on the right is British. They were the first buildings where the outside entrance opened directly into the hall. And also the first buildings for incorporating use of painted glass windows.
Colombia no se habrá
restaurant franchise in the state of Florida, but they also happen to be a phenomenal Spanish restaurant. And if you want to exit at stop 7, please wait till I'm stopped and ring the bell, and then exit carefully to your left. Make sure you exit backwards, and make sure you hold on to the bars and handles as you exit. This is stop 7. Alcantara Street and St. George Street. Now coming into view up ahead on the left is the Castillo de San Marcos, as well as a restoration of the north wall of the old city, known as the Cuba line. Of these palm log walls were planted many yucca plants, also known as the Spanish bayonet. You can see some of those underneath the tree coming up on the right. And they were planted along the base of the walls to deter anyone from attempting to scale the walls, unless they wanted to get cut up. Walls of the old city had 7 fortified sections called redoubts. Coming up ahead on the right is the restoration of the San Agustin redoubt. You can see where the ports for the cannon were located. And their redoubts were manned by soldiers 24/7. So I guess you could say that early St. Augustine was a secure gated community. But I don't know how much their HOA fees were. To our left is the Orange Street Schoolhouse. That was built in 1910. It was for all St. Augustine students, grades 1 through 12. The building has the distinction of being the first building in St. Augustine tower was 8-story tall and could be seen from 14 miles out to sea. And it was at the San Marco where this guy named Henry Flagler honeymooned with his second wife on his first visit to St. Augustine. Henry Flagler would later have a significant influence on St. Augustine's future. We'll learn a lot more about Henry Flagler on the tour. Up ahead on your left is a Renaissance hotel. That's actually a scaled down replica of the San Marco Hotel. And if you're familiar with the Grand Floridian Resort Hotel in Disney World, Grand Floridian was also inspired by as well as other Victorian era East Coast Florida hotels. The San Marco Hotel burned to the ground in 1897. And now we're approaching our next stop, the St. Augustine Visitor and Information Center, stop number 2. If you want to exit here, please wait till I've stopped and rang the bell, and then exit carefully to your left. And the safest way to exit is backwards while holding on to the bars and handles. This is stop number 2, the St. Augustine Visitor and Information Center. Museum. They have an exhibit about St. Augustine surfing culture. That exhibit
Y hasta aquí,
includes a
estimados
vast
amigos y
collection of
amigas, este video de
vintage
recorrido
surfboards.
en San Agustín, una de las ciudades más viejas de Estados Unidos. Si te gustó el video, por favor,
And up ahead on the right, that building at the back of the
dame
courtyard
like.
has an exhibit
Espero que te
of
haya gustado.
historical St. Augustine
Suscríbete,
maps.
da like, haz tu comentario. Espero que te guste.